For some reason, and I know it's not the sites I'm on because I go to the New York Post, which I think is a good post.
They're thinking they
I
need
do
to
go to
read your mind, Tony.
I do go to Daily UK.
Yep.
And there's tangents, the Star, and I don't watch all that.
It's because you watch Dallas Cowboys. That's why
I don't get under the smut stuff.
Not you. Not
you. Beverly Hills Wives of whatever. I don't. Look at that garbage.
Utah Wives now.
But just in the last 2 or 3 days, there's been all these videos of people having sex everywhere.
That's because you're looking at porn. Stop it.
No, I'm not. Like the New York Post had a story about some woman who got arrested for making love on an altar at her church.
That's very.
I'm like,
that's very sad.
Okay, what are we doing?
Well, maybe it was
here?
for procreation purposes only.
Yeah. And there was another story about, and there was a video of it, of this guy and this girl in a park. I think it was Central Park.
That's not bad.
Someone's taking a video of them. They're kissing, making out. He rolls over on top of her, and next thing you know, you see her legs up in there, and they're going after it. And there's
somebody caught them videoing.
Yeah, someone caught them making love in the park.
So they didn't. It wasn't part of their
No,
post.
they weren't.
Okay.
And there's people walking around, children, dogs, and I'm going.
Maybe it's a new challenge.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's a TikTok challenge, and I mean, if it was on Pornhub, I get it. But they got arrested, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I just lost it. And she's like, I just had to have it right now." And they're in the park, and I'm like, "You couldn't run to a portalet or something?" And then there was another story from your neck of the woods, in the sand dunes of what's a
Mojave Desert?
It could have been
Death Valley,
where people are going out in the desert and they're ruining the sand dunes. The vegetation, they're leaving cigarette butts, drink cans, all these things, because now there's this thing about people having sex in the desert. I'm like,
watch out for cactus.
Okay, so we'll take it to another level, but this is okay because this is paid for.
Okay.
For $995, it's a pretty good deal.
I don't know what it is. What are you going to
Couples now charter Love Cloud Jet in Las Vegas for 45 minutes and get busy while the pilot flies his dual propeller Cessna. As the plane sways, he said of the lightweight craft, I often know who is where and who is moving first.
Can we call JP?
The Cessna is tricked out with a bed, red satin sheets, and sex possession pillow. But don't expect to get too comfy. A twin mattress is all that can fill the cabin. Captain Tony.
Only in Vegas.
Here's the pilot. Here's a picture of it right here. You can
of
see
him?
Oh, yeah, he's sitting in the back with 3 hoochie mamas. Captain Tony wears noise-canceling headphones, and a curtain blocks his view of the action in the back.
Okay.
Customers range from horny newlyweds to older couples in search of lost mojo to a pack of swingers from Europe. 6 people can be accommodated on a flight at one time. Dude, I've been in a Cessna.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, that's a...
Now, I've been in a small Cessna where it's just like 2 people. He recalled 2 passengers who caught their spouses cheating with each other. So the jilted pair, after each signing their divorce papers, met in Las Vegas without knowing each other. Upon arrival, the man was air hugging her, and they didn't seem close. After the flight, photographed them with their tongues down each other's throats. He took out her breast. They both flipped the bird that sent the photos of their exes. So they got on the flight. So this is your chance to be part of the Mile High Club.
That's not a bad price.
$45, he said, roughly 2 minutes into the flight, you're good to go. You can take your seatbelts off and get after it. He also said, should that not be enough time, he flies exactly 5,280 feet above Las Vegas to ensure that you're part of the Mile High Club. He said for an extra $500, $1,495, you get an hour and a half. Seatbelts can be ditched after 2 minutes of takeoff.
Well, God love them for being, that's entrepreneurism right there.
They had problems with the Ferris wheel out there. They built this giant Ferris wheel about 6, 7, 8 years ago.
People trying to...
there's a bar car in it. It takes roughly an hour to go around the entire thing, and so it stops as you're filling passengers in. So people were getting busy, but they've got cameras on all of them to make sure there's nothing going on. And so evidently they had to say, listen, we're in Las Vegas. I know what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, but please stop fornicating in our
I think that's a good... I like that. I think it's a good, clean business.
Have you ever...
Yeah, no Mile High Club.
We were...
I know you have. This is one of those. Tony asked me all these things. Have you ever? And my answer always is no.
Well, it's an opportunistic situation. First of all, you have to be.
You can't. Well, now you can't.
Well, first of all, you have to be flying. I never did it on a commercial plane.
Where
I do know people who have done it on a commercial plane.
How could you do that in the?
But if you got two people back in a lavatory, it's small. You have to get it. But it's just for sake of. I think it's not the whole shooting getting caboodle. I think sometimes just to say I got it in, it's enough to say we're part of the Mile High Club. You know what I mean? Because there's no room. Hell, I can't even pee in one of those lavatories. I have to lodge my head up against the side.
I do the same thing.
I have to lodge my head in there.
You lodge your head. I just was on the thing. You lodge your head, and you stomp, and you get your feet.
Yeah.
You cram your head in there.
You have to bend your knees a little bit.
You bend your knees now. And is it just me, or is it inevitably the second I get in there and I'm doing my thing, we hit turbulence?
Oh, absolutely.
What the hell is that?
So we had something with our radio station. We had a private plane that held 10 people and some listeners who went to a concert.
Okay, so that's different.
And I was with a girl, and I joked, "Hey, listen, if you're going with me, this is our shot.
Yeah,
this is our shot."
Right.
She's like, "I'm all in." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, Mile High Club.
And I was hosting this thing.
Okay, man.
And so I went to the pilot and said, "Hey," he's like, "I don't care."
Just only clean
but
up.
there was this little area in the back of the plane.
Oh, it wasn't in the
where there were some boxes and stuff. Because there were 10 people on the flight, and we were in a box about the size of this room.
I know. So how did you? What did everybody?
Well, everyone was having a good time, and
were they paying attention? Did everybody know?
I'm sure they knew. I'm sure they knew.
See, that's you like.
But in a plane that small, that would scare the hell out of me because, when they're moving one piece of luggage to the other side in a 727 because they're afraid it's going to be unbalanced, and you're telling me you're going to be rolling around and you don't care what, and the flight starts going like this a little bit.
We should have had JP. JP, this was
for the right money. Would JP do it? Would he fly a couple up?
You know, JP's an interesting guy, and I don't know him well enough. I would say
he flies for a company, right?
Yeah, so he flies for a company. Well, now here's. He won't. It's a very well-known company here.
Yeah.
Well, it's public. I mean, he's a pilot for Drummond Company.
Yeah.
He was one of their corporate pilots. So obviously we can't talk, and I don't know what happens on those flights because they're doing business deals and that kind of stuff.
Sure they are.
But yeah, I mean, he's a corporate pilot now. So he can't, obviously he's not going to say anything. He doesn't want to lose his job. But I'm sure stuff goes on.
Well, I'm sure he can borrow one of their planes when he wants to go flying.
No, he can't. He actually, no.
Well, he's got his own plane, though.
Yeah, but it's not what he's flying. He's flying like.
Yeah, but I mean, he could take his own plane up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but his plane is.
If someone said, I'll give you 10 grand.
No, but his plane's a 4-seater. You couldn't.
Sure you could.
Well, you could, but his plane is not outfitted for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no way because his plane, because he was going to fly me something, and it was the whole how much luggage, particularly in those small planes, you got to put the suitcase over here.
Oh yeah,
and there's so you can't. The only way you could do it, well, you couldn't even do it.
That would make me a little.
You would have to offset. Okay, so here's how you would have to do it. This is throwing us back to the web. Here's how you would do it. Your total weight would be okay. But in order to do it, you would have to offset on one of the sides where the person was coming out of their seat. Yeah. You'd have to put like luggage, so that it would equal out.
Yeah,
and then you couldn't move too much.
Yeah. I did it. You ever done it in an RV?
No. This is the story.
I did it at an Auburn tailgate party with the girl I was dating, and her mom and dad were in the back of the RV.
Okay, well, let's just run through it.
Super happy about
you ever done it going down the highway?
Yeah.
Yes. You ever done it with
while you're driving?
Yeah. No. No. I have not.
While you're driving?
No. This is you.
You've done it going down the highway on driving. Once you sit on the steering wheel?
No, that's you.
I thought you just said you.
No, I'm doing the Tony Kurre things. Oh. Have you ever done it with a bear? Yes.
I had to put it in cruise control.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah, you did it. You also did it next to a bear.
Next to a bear.
You've done it with a python.
Not with a python. With a python in the room.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Who hasn't done that?
God. I did it with someone with a fish tank.
No wonder I haven't been laid in 7 years.
Fish tank. Actually, I did it with someone who had a terrarium. So I didn't have a python, but there was like a newt. Salamander.
You ever done it in a bar?
Nope. Now, when you say done it,
Yeah.
God, I'm going to lose my license. And my whole career is going to be over. You better take care of my ass.
I will.
So when you say done it, because I think this is really interesting. This is going to be one of our greatest podcasts. I think this idea of the Mile High Club, what you just said, is really a behind the scenes that people don't think about. Are you really getting after it, or is it more like, again, like when you were a teenager? Oh, I touched it.
Let's
I touched it. Okay, we did it. We're in the club.
There has to be penetration.
Yeah, but
And if there's penetration, it's not in and out. You're not
okay. So
if it's in, you're going at it.
So you can
it may not last very long. I mean,
unless you're soaking.
You're trying to get there as quick as you possibly can.
Right.
Unless you're soaking or jellyfishing, yeah, you want to get there as quick as you possibly can.
No, I have not. My intimacy relationships have not been like yours. Mine have been much more conventional. I started younger than you did, but mine are conventional.
I had one young lady who wanted to try to do it in all these different places. I was like, sure, in the woods. But I'm not an exhibitionist, and I was like, I'm not going to get fired for something or.
Well, I think that was my issue.
But there was one in a bar. There was a place in Jitterbugs. When you walked in Jitterbugs, the front door, if you went all the way to the back, if you're watching right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you went all the way to the back right-hand side, there was a really dark area that no one really sat in. Some people did, but for the most part, I don't think people knew it was back there.
Yeah.
And it was super dark, and it was nasty because it was Jitterbugs. It was just, it just smelled kind of weird.
Well, because everybody's in there, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then.
I don't know how you pivot off of that one.
You don't.